Today, I want to talk about a sensitive topic, aging, and our relationship with aging. It is especially relevant for women, and especially those women who passed the threshold of 30 years old, like myself. And to be honest, with the whole body positivity movement, I was hoping that we are gonna care less and less about this topic. But just like with many other hopes regarding humanity's development, it doesn't seem to be the case. And on the opposite, as I'm growing older, not only I do not see this topic fading, but I also kind of see more and more women being concerned about it in my information circle. I see fear and an attempt to fight it, and I also notice that in myself. So in this video, I am going to talk about where I think it comes from, why I think it's bad, and then in the second part of the video, I'm gonna share some advice and some perspective on how I think we can deal with it. So first of all, where does it come from? Well, obviously, we are massively influenced by the information we are consuming. As someone who's present on social media and who's a consumer of it and who also watches movies and TV shows, even though the content I watch is very selective, I still feel like I've been bombarded by tons of advice and promos of various methods, face massage, different procedures, botox, you name it, of how to fight aging. And I also see public figures who fight physical signs of aging, and by their example, they show that we should fight that. And this media context is incredibly influential, and it doesn't even matter where we stand on this consciously, what we actually consciously believe. It gets to us, on a subconscious level. And the perception that we are fed is that basically aging is a negative thing, and that, especially as a woman, the longer you stay as young looking as possible, the better, and the more you deserve admiration and praise. And if you don't stay looking young, then you are kind of losing your worth as a woman. Even myself, no matter what I believe, I feel like it affects me. And I can notice myself looking in the mirror and evaluating my appearance on how worn off, how old am I looking. And I can't help but compare myself to other people and to my younger self. I used to be told a lot that I look a lot younger than my age. And I really liked that because it made this whole thing very easy for me. And now I'm not told this anymore. And it kind of feels like a defeat, and all of it is not okay. And let's talk about why it's not okay, that I feel this way, that many other women feel this way. First of all, we have to remember that most of those ads and advice on aging that we get online, it's there not because it's true, but because somebody wants to profit from us buying it and buying whatever they're selling. Most of this influence comes from companies and people who make money by producing and selling those anti-aging products and services. So it's in their interest to keep us stressed about aging. It's not about our actual interest, and it's not about the truth. Second of all, some procedures among those that are being promoted might have consequences. Many of them are not really tested over a long period of time. We don't know what's going to happen. And if you ask me, for example, when it comes to botox, the idea of some chemicals freezing my muscles and preventing them from moving, it does not really sound healthy to me. So all of us running to do those anti-aging procedures might actually result in some of us regretting that afterwards, because we have to keep in mind that some of them might not be entirely safe. The third reason why this whole anti-aging anxiety is not good for us is that it instills fear in us. I can feel it in me, after watching all this, listening to all of this and comparing myself to others, I can feel fear, like growing. And fear is a really harmful feeling when it does not serve us properly. Like if you're scared of a lion, it encourages you to run to save your life, that's good. But when you are scared because of the wrinkles that are slowly appear on your face, it is not something that actually puts you in danger. So it's like a fear that was not supposed to be there. And more than that, it wouldn't have been there if not for all that media that made us think that we should be afraid. And what is really bad about fear is that it poisons us. It affects our quality of life by distracting us from being in the moment and like living our life to the fullest. Instead of enjoying the moment, we are stuck in our head with this negative feeling, and we'll lose this sense of being content with our lives fully for no reason, basically. And in relation to that, the fourth reason why it's bad is that it actually influences our perception of reality, of the world around us, of ourselves, and of beauty. It teaches us to concentrate on the surface of things. It makes us superficial, basically. It makes our perception flat, while we are actually multi-dimensional, like the world and ourselves. We are not meant to be static. We are not meant to be like covers of some magazine. We are not meant to be like photos. We are moving, we're changing. There is so much volume to this existence, and instead it becomes just flat, as I said. It is being reduced to a surface. And the fifth reason why this whole thing is bad, in my opinion, is because it puts additional pressure on those who struggle financially. Because all those procedures cost a lot of money, and by making people feel like if their aging is visible, then they are kind of like losers, it puts them in a really shitty situation where they either feel frustrated that they can't afford those procedures, or they have to prioritize paying for those things instead of using money for something that would be a lot more beneficial for them. Like, for example, eating healthier, or getting a fitness subscription, or spending money on some additional education that would make them happy, or just like simply traveling somewhere and making memories. There are tons of things that can actually make you a lot happier and healthier than doing botox, if you have to choose just one thing because you're not rich. Also, one more reason why it's not good. Have you noticed that all this stuff gets to us when we feel down? Like when we are happy and content with our lives, is it that easy to make us worry about aging? I don't think so. So what does it say? I think it says that all those people who offer to save us from aging, they in fact benefit from our weakness and unhappiness. So this whole anti-aging industry is built on our fear, our dissatisfaction, our self-doubt, and low self-esteem, which I think makes it really shitty and not to be trusted. And finally, the seventh reason, well, we can't reverse aging. We can't escape it. That means that this fight for staying young forever is a lost cause, essentially. And it kind of exhausts our resources for nothing. It's just about the prolongation of the inevitable. It's not even about like staying healthy, which pisses me off especially. So it's just about the appearance. Which brings me to the last point, that at the end of the day, it's not even going to make us feel that good about ourselves. In fact, it might make us feel worse, because for some of us, it might make us respect ourselves less, because deep inside we know that we do it simply because of fear. It's not for the sake of creation or making the world better. It is just out of fear that did not even come from inside of us. It came from the media that wants to make money because of it. So yeah, it's really not good for us. And first and foremost, it's not good for our mental health and for our quality of life. That is why what I think we actually need is not the cure against aging, but the cure against the fear of aging. And while I have not excelled at it myself yet, I want to share with you some of the insights, some of the thoughts that I have on how to fight this fear, how to overcome it. Number one, remember that this is not actually about age. It's about staying attractive. Because, let's be honest, as women especially, we would have not cared about aging as much if it didn't seem to threaten our beauty and attractiveness. So it's important to keep in mind what the whole fuss is about. Because with this perspective, the goal of not losing attractiveness becomes a lot more achievable. It's not a lost cause like with aging, itself. Number two, take small but regular actions. This really helps me to reduce fear. I'm talking about building certain regular habits and practices that I believe can help keep me looking good despite aging. This is not like a radical solution, but it's a way to work with fear that already exists. And it's okay that it's not radical because, again, it's really normal to be affected by this whole media influence. So what I like to do is to find actions that are affordable and not overwhelming, meaning they're easy to maintain, and do them regularly, daily or like almost daily. Like, for example, having a regular skincare routine or like doing face massage or face yoga, which is kind of easy. It doesn't take a lot of time. But for me, like, I kind of believe that it might help and it calms down my brain because it gives me the feeling that I am doing everything I can. And the rest is kind of like not entirely in my control. Number three, try to have a healthy lifestyle. I think it's helpful to keep in mind that a vibrant and youthful look has a lot to do with the whole organism, like how healthy we are, how healthy the organism is, not just with the surface, right? So the best thing we can actually do is pay attention to our health, which means have a balanced diet, drink enough water, exercise regularly, stay away from stress, and try to stay healthy mentally. Make yourself happy. Good relationships, good job, walks in nature. Like, keeping ourselves healthy should be our primary task. Beauty procedures can only be secondary. Number four, reduce media consumption. Because this is where the fear comes from in the first place. So pay attention to what IG accounts or which like TV series increase this aging anxiety and reduce the consumption of them. Instead, follow influencers and celebrities and watch movies that promote healthy relationships with aging. Like Kate Winslet, for example, as a celebrity. Watch people embracing their age. Watch them behave like their age doesn't affect them negatively. Listen to them speak about their positive experience. If the problem started with the information that affects you, then it can end there as well through reconsidering what you consume. Number five, turn your attention outward. I would say inward, but what I actually mean, I think it's outward. Be present in the moment as much as you can. And if you find yourself consumed by those negative thoughts and feelings that has to do with the way you look or will look at some point or something like that, get yourself busy with something. Meet people you feel good about. Be an active part of the community. Do things you're passionate about. Go on a walk that allows you to feel the connection with nature. Listen to the music. Dance. Just occupy yourself with things that keep your attention away from those thoughts and from your reflection in the mirror as well. Look outside to the beautiful world more than you look at yourself in the mirror, in like your close-up face with all those wrinkles and problems on your face. And the more you do this, the more you stay away from those, comparative thoughts and worries, the less fear you will feel. Number six, related to the previous one, strive for happiness. The most powerful thing you can do to fight the fear of aging is to become as happy as you can and make your life as full as you can. Remember again that anti-aging propaganda gets to you the most when you are unhappy, when you feel down. So work on that first. If you feel like you want to do botox, just keep that thought, it's okay, but work on becoming as happy as you can. Then when you feel happy, you can go back to that thought about botox and ask yourself once again, do I really need that? Is it still such a big concern for me? And if it is, yeah, go for it, whatever. But it just might not be there anymore. Actually, you might not even remember to ask yourself this question anymore because you'll just live your life. Number 7, remember what really makes people attractive. So as we established, it's not really about aging, it's about staying attractive. So like think about what actually makes people attractive. It's not the lack of imperfection on their skin. It's not how old they look. It's about their energy. It's about charisma. It's about passion. It's about their values. It's about how vibrant they are, how confident they are. This is a really important one. It's the intelligence. It's the kindness. It's the sense of humor. All these things make people attractive, not the lack of wrinkles. And just remember that if somebody falls in love with you, they will never care about your wrinkles or like sagging skin anywhere, because what people really remember and care about is how something or someone makes them feel, not about whether they fit to some picture. Or like if there are people who care about that, fuck them. You don't need those people in your life. And related to that, remember that people generally don't care. I mean, because we all are in this one information space, more or less. We all pay attention to this. I can sometimes look at a woman and automatically evaluate how old she looks like, how young she looks like. I might notice sometimes some wrinkles on someone and pay attention to that. But this is on a very superficial level. First of all, I'm not proud about thinking that. But also, as soon as I dive into communication with this person, I forget about that. And I think it's like that for most people. They can pay attention on the surface level, but ultimately, on a deeper level, nobody really cares. And those people who do, again, it's their problem. Number 9, think about positive sides of aging. Because there are positive sides of aging. We are just so focused on like those downsides. We should really talk about the positive stuff more. Like, for example, do you remember yourself when you were like 20 years old or 17 years old? If you were anything like me, you were probably a mess. Myself, when I was young looking, vibrant, without a tiny wrinkle kind of a girl, I was a super unhappy mess. I had mental issues a lot more than I have now, and I had no idea what to do about them. I could not stand my ground. I felt super self-conscious. I was shy. I was quiet. I didn't know what I want to do in life. I just didn't feel good at all. I didn't know what kind of relationships I want. I was so dependent on everyone's opinion, and I feel so much better now than I felt back then. So it's a huge plus of growing older. You get to know yourself. You get to know the world. You become more confident, more passionate about things that matter, and it's super cool. And I think it's just gonna get better with age. So from this point of view, aging is something to be celebrated. And also, what many people point out, growing older means that you get to live longer, which not everybody gets the chance to. So each year, maybe you get more wrinkles, but you also get more experience and more love and more emotions. And like, of course, youth is about being physically capable, physically active, and full of energy. Those are things that we tend to lose over time. But often we don't even know what to do with all those things when we are young. We just have crazy parties, we drink, we get our heart broken. But as you grow older, you get to live a lot more conscious life and mentally feel a lot better. And if you, again, maintain a healthy lifestyle, you might also to keep your physical ability for as long as possible. And as a woman, would you actually like to always look like a clueless, defenseless baby who can be abused, who can be tricked into anything, who has no idea what to do, who has no experience, and all that? Would you? Probably not. Instead, you look like yourself, like a confident, experienced woman, which is incredibly attractive and sexy. Knowing what you want is sexy. Not giving a shit is sexy. Having experience is sexy. Enjoying the moment, being confident, all of this is super sexy. The glorification of youth, when you think about that, makes a lot less sense than it might seem when you listen to all this bullshit. And finally, number 10, as I said before, remember that you're not a one-dimensional picture. You're meant to move and not be static. Being human is essentially about growing, discovering, learning, living through experiences. It's about expanding the depth within you. You're supposed to move and change, not to strive for being like frozen and turning into a statue, like becoming a shadow of yourself. Shadow is flat. You are not. Those who move and change the most, usually the most attractive, because they're brave, strong, free, and happy. Keep in mind that who you are attracted to is also gonna change. And not because you are gonna become attracted to wrinkled skin, but because you'll be drawn to interesting, complete, confident, and mature people. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope that it helps you feel better if you feel what I've been feeling about this. And don't worry, you will not just be okay as you grow older. You'll be great. Have a wonderful day and don't worry about anything. Bye.